The U.S. Senate has unanimously passed a bill aimed at punishing officials who try to undermine Hong Kong's autonomy. The move comes amid rising international concern over China's plan to impose a national security law on Hong Kong to crack down on anti-government protests. The Senate bill calls for sanctions against people seen to be restricting the territory's autonomy, guaranteed under a declaration signed by China and Britain in 1984. Banks that do business with such individuals would also face sanctions, such as asset freezes and a ban on doing business with U.S. firms.
What the government of China is doing in Hong Kong is unacceptable. They are taking away the rights of the people in Hong Kong. They are snuffing out the freedoms that exist there right now.
The bill will become law if approved by the House of Representatives and signed by President Donald Trump.
That's right. Well, you just introduced a bill that I think is really interesting. It's calling Ending Taxpayer Funding of Anarchy Act, and it's going after these Chad and Chad and whatever else they want to call them, autonomous zones. Tell me a little bit about what the goal of it is and why you did it.
Well, exactly. So these areas, whether it's Chaz or Chop or who knows what else, if they are truly wanting to be an autonomous zone, then they should not be relying on the federal government's tax dollars. So what I'm recommending is that those cities, those communities where the mayors refuse to allow law enforcement to do their jobs, then those mayors should suffer the consequences of not having federal taxpayer monies flowing into their cities. We don't need anarchy. We don't need these autonomous zones. What we need to do is find solutions. And you can't do that when you have these areas cropping up across the United States, mayors losing all control of their communities, and law enforcement really being put out to pasture. That doesn't work. We have to protect our public. So, okay, if that's what they want to be autonomous, let's get rid of those taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, I can't agree. I mean, I appreciate you doing this because the nonsense has got to stop. And when you watch a place like Seattle, I understand some people want to protest, but they're blocking in all these other people who probably don't agree with that. And so they've got to have something that you're doing, something like what you're doing to end the nonsense and the silliness. So there's got to be a reality to that. Let me just...
The U.S. Senate has unanimously passed a bill,
We don't need anarchy. We don't need these autonomous zones.
The U.S. Senate has unanimously passed a bill aimed at punishing officials who try to undermine Hong Kong's autonomy.